What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video or a live stream this time around. We're going to be talking about where every released wrestler will end up. Let's be honest, these releases came out of nowhere. For some people, it was expected, but for me, a lot of them I didn't see actually coming, especially a couple of these names. But I couldn't do this alone. I had to get some fellow wrestling enthusiasts who know their wrestling very well. So I had to dig deep. I had to go to the valleys of the wrestling world. I had to go to places that I never thought I would go to find these underrated content creators who definitely deserve to be at 1 million, by the way. And we got my brother, my tag team partner, the right hand man last weekend in wrestling, Dylan.
Well, just sit me daddy ass right now, baby, because let's get this goddamn party started. How's everybody doing today, man? What's going on? What's cracking lacking?
What's good? I'm glad to have you. And we got another guest. He's new, but this ain't his first. He's not new to this. He's true to this. We got the Horton Show. What's good?
I'm doing good. How you been doing? I'm doing pretty good myself. Just got off work, ready to dive into this, these theories of the superstars that were released and everything. And I can't wait to see your opinions on all this. It's gonna be a nice little podcast.
Yeah. So we're not gonna waste you guys time. We won't be too long. So we're gonna get into it with the first name, and we're gonna I'm gonna start with Dylan. We're gonna start off with Dolph Ziggler. So give me your thoughts on his release and everything that came from that.
Well, Dolph's been around for a long time. He's been an Intercontinental Champion, Tag Team Champion, World Heavyweight Champion, a United States Champion. He's been probably the best seller in the WWE for a very long period of time. Probably one of his best moments, in my opinion, is him and The Miz match for the Intercontinental Championship, besides many others. Alberto Del Rio as well, cashing in that Money in the Bank. And, it sucks. Don't get me wrong. All 21 wrestlers that lost their jobs as of recently sucks. Everyone's now out of work. Everyone now maybe can't feed their families, put food on their table, provide for their children and whatnot. So it's a definitely a terrible shame. But with Dolph, honestly, I'm shocked. I thought, he's going to be there forever. I thought maybe he'd retire and go into the back and start working on talent relations and building up new talent, working on old talent, maybe in the script, in the writer's room, doing something with the WWE. He's been around for a long time with the WWE, never left the company, always wanted to be a WWE superstar, always wanted to be in the WWE community, and him leaving was wild, man. It was wild. So I'm saddened. Don't get me wrong, but I hope he does great and bigger and better things.
Honestly, like you've made a lot of great points. I think for a lot of people, I think the biggest highlight of his career in WWE was him cashing in the Money in the Bank contract. Like that was like one of the biggest pops I've ever seen. Yeah. Like I've seen a lot of great moments, but I think that one was one that would stand the test of time. And that moment should have catapulted him to the next level. Unfortunately, it didn't because he had a concussion, but it wasn't his fault. No. It wasn't his fault. And I feel like WWE had so many opportunities to make up for it, and for some reason they just couldn't capitalize on it. Like they had so many opportunities where they could have, pull the trigger again, like when he was in Survivor Series in 2014. That could have been another moment. His feud that he had with The Miz over the Intercontinental could have been something. He had an opportunity for the WWE title against Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley, at SummerSlam, and that didn't happen. And even some of his matches that he had with the likes of Triple H and John Cena. And John Cena and The Rock even, took the time of the day to show their support for Dolph Ziggler. The guy has been in the company for almost 20 years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
It's 20 years. Not many people can say they've been able to do that. And as many accolades as he's had, I feel like it's not going to be hard for him to find work elsewhere just because of what he does bring to the table.
Right.
But
And
Horton, I want to get your opinion.
go ahead.
All right, because this one rubs me a little bit the wrong way. I'm going to take my shades off just a minute to kind of go over it. Because, Dolph Ziggler, man, from as long as I can remember, he's been in WWE. I've been watching him on TV for the longest time. And every single time that he's wrestled, he's impressed me. I like the way I like his style. I'll always say that he could have been the next HBK, but, they didn't want to push him like that. He went to NXT for a little while. I thought maybe they were going to be pushing him, but no, they're not. They didn't push him like they were supposed to. And I feel like Dolph, he did a whole lot that he wanted to do, and he probably just kind of felt some type of way that they weren't using him to his best, to the best that he could be used. And so him leaving I feel he has a part in that. I feel like he didn't get released per se. I feel like maybe that he had some say in it and he wanted to leave, and he just used this opportunity to leave. And I just feel he has other opportunities out there. It won't be hard for him because of his vast history in WWE. I feel like, oh, nice house. But yeah, I feel like, he could go somewhere and he can make a bigger name for himself, and he has an opportunity to do great things. I just feel like WWE is wasting his time in a way because they're not using him. Maybe he could come back later on in the future if he's not too old, and he can be Hall of Fame worthy, which I don't think at this opportunity. I don't think he's Hall of Fame worthy at the point, but he can be. I just, I'm still kind of pissed about it.
I think that's definitely understandable. I think that's probably one of the biggest shocks that actually, as far as releases go, because it's like you said, he was a for lifer. In my opinion, he was always seen as a for lifer for me. I never seen him leave, but as of late, I think it was a report that came out. He's had opportunities to leave because I think he had an opportunity to leave in 2017, but he didn't. No. He resigned, and I feel like here's the thing, and you guys might be able to agree with me. I feel like if he would have left in 2017 and pretty much did like a Drew McIntyre type of story where he went on the indies and rebuilt himself, I think when he came back, he would have probably been a much bigger deal, and he probably would have eventually became WWE champion, which I believe he should have.
See, WWE threw money at this guy. WWE threw money at this guy to sit him on the shelf. That's what he did.
Yep.
He took it. He took that money.
He did, and I think the last match he had was literally against JD McDonough, and that was it. He got written off, and he wasn't seen since. The last thing that he's done of some type of importance when he had that feud with Braun Breaker last year over the NXT Championship, and I feel like it wasn't a moment people wanted, just because the simple fact that when they gave it to Dolph, it didn't feel like it was a worthy moment. It felt like they just gave it to him out of, oh, we're appreciative of you being here for as long as you have been, so we're going to give you this, and then you're going to drop it right back probably in the next couple of weeks. Like, you can do more than that with someone like Dolph. And then I remember when he took his hiatus after the win the U.S. title, I was kind of intrigued because I was thinking like, okay, well, they're going to bring him back. They probably can have some type of plans for him. He might do something important this time. Every time I feel like he's been one of those guys, like The Miz, you can put him in so many different feuds, like meaningless feuds, and he comes out of it even bigger at the same time, just because of how big he is. It doesn't matter where you put him on the card. I feel like he's just one of those guys that can do anything. He can do any and everything. So when he came back, I think it was at number 30 in the 2018 Royal Rumble. Honestly, even though Shinsuke ended up winning, I wouldn't have been mad at Dolph Ziggler winning. Honestly, it would have been a huge moment for him. And unfortunately, they just didn't pull the trigger. And all he did that was substantial in 2018 was having that great Intercontinental title match and feud with Seth Rollins over the summer. That was pretty much it. But before we move on to the next name, I want to do one more thing. Where do you guys think Dolph Ziggler will end up?
All right, I got this one.
Okay.
On a beach just sipping lemonade. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I feel like even though I wish he would go to AEW, but I don't think he's gonna do anything. He's got what he wanted. He's done probably what he wanted. He's got the money. He might kick back, enjoy his time. He feels like he wants to do a few appearances here and there. He can make his money at some Comic Cons and stuff like that. I don't think
Yeah,
he's gonna go anywhere.
the guy's loaded.
That's. I mean, that's what we all want our wrestlers to do, especially after a long and adventurous reign as a champion or as a wrestler in general. It's it's interesting, but I see him in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I see him in AEW. I see him wrestling alongside his brother or against him in the future in AEW. I do see him working with talent from Ring of Honor and being that catalyst to help that new generation of superstars that are getting the opportunities to be somewhat like a Ziggler down the road and have that inept sharpness and mindful skill set to wrestle at such a high level that Dolph did each and every time he was out there. So for me, I think it is best if he wants to continue wrestling. AEW would probably be the spot for him. But if not, like Eric said, he could just work on his comedy and just do that. He could do some tours. He could do some stand up. I'll pay to watch his stand up. Absolutely.
Is the
Absolutely.
guy really that funny?
I've never seen any of his
I never really seen it. I know he had a thing where he was on Wild 'N Out, but I think that was about it that I remember.
I don't
Because
even
they had a lot of different wrestlers on there. But for
Yeah.
me, I think he's gonna go to AEW. I think his brothers was teasing it even before he even got released. So I do think that was indicating something at some point down the road. And I do see a situation where he could end up joining his brother in AEW. He was on Being the Elite. So I do think it's a possibility that I can see them probably even winning the AEW tag team titles at some point, honestly, just so he can have that type of prestige to the championship, or he can work with the Ring of Honor talent and maybe bring eyes to the Ring of Honor talent. Imagine we've seen Chris Jericho win the Ring of Honor title, and it kind of brought a little of eyes to the product. And I can see Dolph doing the same thing just because he is a big name, or he can do Matt Riddle, just like Matt Cardona said. A lot of these guys can go through the indies and work
and kill in the indies.
Dolph Ziggler would kill it in the indies.
I would love to see him in AML, MLW, Evolve, just for cheap seat tickets. Go see him on a Long Island show for $40, $60 to go watch Dolph Ziggler wrestle somebody else, a talented new up and comer, and have that ability. Oh fuck yeah! I would love to see it. Trust me, I think he would do great in the indie scene, and with someone like Cardona, like Bully, and everyone else around him now in that indie circuit, I think it would work out well for him if he wanted to go in that indie route. But if he wants to do professional wrestling and stay at that high caliber, he has AEW. He does have that, and he has that company to really grow from and spawn a new generation of talented, like-minded caliber superstars like himself.
Yeah, and here's another thing. The guy hasn't aged a bit. Like he's one of those guys that just doesn't age for some reason. The guy is still like he still looks like he's in his 20s for crying out loud. So I mean, he's not. Imagine him in AEW having a match with Kenny Omega. Y'all cannot tell me that match would not be fired. Imagine him selling that one-winged angel. I'm telling you, that or the V-Trigger. That guy is going to sell it like $1 million. He's going to make Kenny Omega. He's going to pretty much sell it like he actually got killed. You see what he did when he faced Goldberg at SummerSlam, even though people don't like to talk about that, but he sold like crazy. So I think if I'm Tony Khan, I would open the checkbook and sign this guy, because the guy, he has so much that he can give to the business overall, from the younger talent, even with some of the older talent. He can still share that wisdom with a lot of these women these women and men in AEW. So I don't think it's going to be hard for him to sign. But we got to talk about the next person on this list. We got to talk about Aaliyah. Aaliyah, she's been in the company. She literally got signed to the WWE when she was 20 years old. And pretty much a lot of people thought she was going to be a promising young prospect. And if she's done some indie work and she killed it on the indies. And going to WWE, she didn't really do anything much of importance besides having that little mini feud with Natalya and pinning her in 3 seconds and having a tag team title reign with Raquel Rodriguez. And that was about it.
That was about it.
So me personally, if I was to see her going anywhere, I can see her maybe going to Impact. I think Impact is a place you can go for a lot of the women to continue to own their craft and continue to improve on every aspect that they might be lacking in and continue to get more exposure and get more people to get eyes on them as well. And I feel like people want to be upset with her in the Impact zone. I think she's someone that I think definitely fits the Impact. So Impact it is.
I would say
Your turn.
I would say Indies. I wouldn't say Impact. I wouldn't say AEW. I wouldn't say New Japan. You know, and maybe it's because of how they booked her. Maybe it's because of that quick reign as a champion that they gave her. Maybe it's because of the fact that her in-ring work hasn't developed since her short time in WWE, a couple of main event matches and some dark matches here and there on those live shows. I don't see her stepping up her caliber to that Impact level where a lot of these young talent have come off the indies. So maybe having her go to something like an Evolve
or
NWA, an ALW, you know, I think that's more in the wheelhouse of where someone like her and the status that she has, you know, should be brought upon herself. You know, if let's say she's worth, I don't know, 100,000. Let's say she's worth 100,000.
Yeah,
but her actual ability is worth 40. I'm losing 60 on just revenue alone. I'm not going to sign you for a contract of 100,000 and lose 60 off the bat. I'd rather lose the whole 100,000 and make it back within my first 7 months. Don't make me lose that 60 and slowly, if in not, never get that money back.
I think she would. I think another company that I feel like she possibly could thrive in is maybe NWA. I feel like NWA, they really have a very, very small women's division. So I wouldn't be opposed to the possibility of her maybe working at NWA or maybe even just doing like a per match deal with different companies. Like where let's
not fool ourselves. For WWE, Aaliyah was just a pretty face. When they got plenty of pretty faces in WWE, they could do without. Yeah, her skills are all right. She just does not. She's not really nothing worthwhile. You know. I mean, I feel like she needs to go back to the Indies. I feel like maybe she can go back to Canada. She could do what she needs to do over there. I'm not taking it as, you know, get out of the USA like that. I mean, like she can go and wrestle in Canada, do what she needs to do, you know, build yourself up, come back to America, get yourself in some of these American companies, you know, and do what you need to do. Maybe WWE might take you back sometime, but other than that, she's just a pretty face, good body, nothing else going really.
That one's
like she's gonna stay on the indie scene.
It's not worth losing $60,000 over.
Yeah, no. The next name from we're gonna talk about is Daba Kato.
Who?
Uh,
Who?
Daba Kato. If you guys don't remember this guy, he pretty much was in Raw Underground. He had that little mini feud with Braun, that one match with Braun Strowman, got killed, and then he was Commander Aziz for Apollo Crews, and then showed up in
Oh, you mean the
NXT.
Great Khali's
Yeah,
twin?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the great Carly's twin. Yeah. That's him. Me
yeah.
personally, I feel like when you have a lot of giants in WWE with Omos and Braun Strowman,
Roger's Omos's brother, I was told.
yeah, that is.
Yeah.
So it's like when you have talent like that are giants, it's like for him, I don't know where he would fit. And the same thing goes for AEW. I don't see him going to
Walmart
AEW
breeder.
either. He's not going to AEW either. I feel like if there's any company that will want to sign him, maybe MLW, because I think if he was to go to MLW and you have him pretty much just be that monster who just go around and wrecks everything, I think that would be a character that kind of suits him. But outside of that, I just don't think there's any other company that's gonna really open up the checkbook for him.
I'm gonna have to cut you off.
Okay,
I'm gonna have to cut you off.
all right,
There's
go for
two
it.
spots that we could see this gigantic freakazoid ever in my life. A Walmart greeter. All right.
Yeah, you gotta do the man some great.
All right. Ma'am, sir, can you help me grab that thing on the top shelf? Absolutely. You know, him,
He's perfect for it. Who
him,
needs a forklift when you got Daba Kato?
or a center for the Knicks. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, absolutely. Those are your
They ain't
two.
signing that man.
You
Now,
don't
you
need
know,
two.
They ain't. Them Knicks is
True
not. The Knickerbockers ain't
opportunity.
signing this dude.
who are we
No.
kidding, who are we
The
kidding
two
ourselves? You know, Daba Kato is a Vince McMahon big guy.
Project. He was
That's
in Vince
all.
McMahon
That's the
project.
reason why he was on WWE. Just like the Great Khali, all these big
Greg
superstars
Khali
that
fired himself
Vince
today.
McMahon brought
Idiot.
in. Yeah,
That
he's
fucking
just
moron. Doesn't know
that's
how to
who
cook
he
a
is.
thing of
And
eggs. Moron set
the
himself on
only
fire.
place I see the big guys going is being a monster in Impact. You can go to
You know what? I
Impact.
thought of a third place.
What is it?
ESPN.
Oh
Doing
my
one of those
god!
like gigantic freak
Are
things.
in your closet?
Yeah. On ESPN. He could be like that
Who
boom
the hell
mic
is in
guy.
my closet?
He
Oh,
could
it's
hang
not
out with like Stephen A. Smith and be the boom mic guy. Aziz, what are you doing? Put the boom mic up. I'm sorry. I am
He has the
sorry.
look. If
He
you
has
build
the
him
look,
right,
but the talent. I feel like it's one of those situations he just has to put two and two together. I feel like there's promise, but at the same time, it's very slim to see him getting signed anywhere. When you have giants in pretty much every company,
The promise of him entering a ring again is the promise a leotard. Exactly, Robert. A
hey,
leotard.
come on,
Hey,
come on.
Robert. A leotard. Absolutely. Listen, all right? That's my boy right there, Rob. I'm happy he joined us tonight. But I tell you this right now. The three places that I could see Commander Aziz be at: a Walmart greeter, all right, a center for the Knicks,
Mm-mm.
okay, or ESPN boom mic extra, all right.
or a coat hanger in your
Killed me.
closet.
You just
Or,
killed me with that joke. The
all right.
New York Knickerbockers are not going to sign this guy. He's going to get like a 10-day contract.
10 years, sit on the bench, grab the water boy contract.
He's
He's going to be the
going to
Bobby
be a water
Boucher of
boy.
the Knicks. He's going to be the Bobby Boucher of the Knicks.
You know
All
what's
right,
funny?
and his partner in crime, Flop Dollar. All right, listen.
I think the next. Okay, let's get to the next guy because we had all those jokes. The
Listen.
next guy we got to talk about is Flop Dollar. I'm gonna
Yeah.
kick it with
You know
Dylan.
where
You
you
can
know
kick it
you
off.
know where you can see my boy Flop Dollar flop at? Walmart greeter.
No,
He
Burger
could be the
King.
backup for when Aziz calls out. All right, when Aziz is like, I don't want to do it. I've been doing it for 2 weeks straight. You call Flop Dollar. All right, you call Flop Dollar. Don't. If I ever see Flop Dollar enter a wrestling ring again, and it's not to announce a superstar or to wipe off the sweat off of someone's brow, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Yeah, I got a
I'm
tongue
gonna
twister
lose
for
my
you.
shit.
Flop dollar flipping Whoppers at Burger King.
That's the only time he's gonna do anything that's gonna go
Honestly,
over.
I feel like this might be crazy, but because of his connection that he has with Swerve Strickland, I think he might work as a manager.
He could work as a janitor in the recording studio with Swerve Strickland.
Because I feel like him having
Please.
a manager that, even though Swerve Strickland can do the talking, but kind of like have that guy to be on the outside to help him win these matches.
What, to help Nana do his Nana dance? Like, stop.
Dude,
Flop Dollar
was
belongs as a garbage man, all right? Like,
I can see him doing
let's be
ESPN.
honest.
as a
He can do
simplification.
ESPN, doing like the
Yeah,
sports.
boom mic guy. You
The
know, get
sports
the
killer.
coffee. You know, wipe
He
Skip
was, all he
Bayless's
was a
eyebrow.
sympathy hire.
You know,
That's
come
all he was.
on, man. Flop Dollar couldn't get over the top rope. He's better off
Yeah,
selling
they
drugs.
were butchered. They were
He could
destroying
work
this man on
as a
commentary.
Bro,
They
he could
destroyed
work
him on
for
commentary.
Pawn Stars. He could work as a pawnbroker in Pawn Stars.
He was just a
Okay,
pity
there you
hire. That's
go.
all he was for WWE, a pity hire.
I feel like when they had, I think here's my, and this is I'm keeping on to be honest with you guys. When we had Hit Row with Swerve Strickland, or at that time Isaiah Swerve Scott, when he got released, I feel like at that point in time it was done.
Yeah,
Hit Row was done because he
shot down.
it was shot down.
No
It
shot.
was nowhere for them to go. And it's the crazy thing is they released Top Dollar, but still have B-Fab and Ashanti the Adonis still on the contract. So I have no idea what they're gonna do. I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what they're gonna do with these guys.
I gave you my best suggestions, my top tier suggestions for Aziz and Flop Dollar. Dude, if I walked into a Walmart Monday morning and I saw Top Dollar as a Walmart greeter on one side of the store and Aziz on the other side of the store, I'd walk in and out of that store all day just for them to greet me. Hello, how are you? How are you doing? I'm doing
Matter
good.
of
How are
fact,
you,
here's
Captain?
another one. Not just the greeter, but you know, like gotta have like the little food part, like where the people make the food and stuff.
Yeah.
They could do that.
Yeah. He could
I
work
don't
at
know.
Charlie's. He could work at Charlie's Charlie's Philly Cheesesteak Factory.
I don't
In
know, man.
Walmart, flipping
opinion on it,
cheesecakes. All right.
He every time they came on TV, I'd always turn the channel. They're just not interesting to me.
They don't do it for me. Like it was.
There's nothing
I never had a reason to get behind or get invested.
Yeah.
You couldn't
So-
get
Sucks he
behind.
lost his job.
You
It
couldn't get
sucks.
behind. He was so big. It was still taking you 2 days to walk around him.
Wasn't he the one that he had a picture of Bray Wyatt's Fiend backpack?
I think so. I think
that
that was
him?
him, wasn't it?
Because if it was him, I want that backpack. That's the only
I
good
don't know if
thing.
it was that. I don't know. If that
So
was-
we're gonna probably end up getting to some more jokes. We got to talk about Elias, aka Ezekiel, as he revealed. Ezekiel.
Okay.
Or
Really?
Elias.
Any motherfucker didn't
Really?
realize that Elias and
Ezekiel?
Ezekiel are the same
Oh my
thing.
goodness!
If you guys
I didn't
don't
know
know
that.
that, you guys are definitely up there with Matt Riddle.
You know that I'm not Santa Claus, right, Horton? All
What?
right.
Oh, you're not gonna come down my chimney tonight?
My
Oh.
big
Hey, yo.
my big ass burrito body ain't coming down no chimneys. I ain't climbing up no chimneys. I ain't going down no chimneys. I ain't giving you no ho ho hos.
Hey, no, maybe
Still
you
on your
can
fucking
clean
cookies.
his chimney anytime you want, even.
Hey yo,
No,
hey, yo,
no.
burrito tired over here.
But as
Ho,
far as
ho, ho.
Elias goes,
Hello.
I feel like he has the character. It's just I feel like for him,
Excuse me,
they
say
never
what?
gave him. I never feel like they gave him a true opportunity because as much as he would come down with the guitar and talk trash to the crowd, and I feel like the fans ate it up. Pause. But
Resume.
exactly. But because I remember when he got the most heel heat is when he had that segment with Kevin Owens when they talk about having a basketball team in Seattle. That segment alone got him so much heel heat to the point they literally couldn't even continue the show for like a couple of minutes. They were just booing for probably about 10 minutes straight. 10 minutes straight, they were just booing this man where he couldn't even get a word out.
That's
So
funny.
I don't know where they have him go. Me personally, I think maybe NWA. I think NWA, because imagine him having like the guitar gimmick, being like a rock star or whatever in NWA. I think that can work for him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Honestly,
pretend you didn't say that.
singer. He wasn't really a bad singer, to be honest.
he wasn't. He
I listened
Yeah,
to
he
some
can
of
go.
them
He
on
can go make
he
a
Spotify.
can
It
single.
sing.
wasn't bad.
Well,
He can go
let's
make
not
a
get it
single.
twisted. The guy can sing.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
guy
if
could
they
sing.
wanted to, they could try to keep going the Elias.
Not like not like Flop Dollar.
But
I'll tell you that.
I mean, I wasn't surprised they let him go because they didn't really have much for him. But I still feel like if they would have pushed him enough, Elias would have been pretty good.
He would have been in my personal opinion, he had the tools to. Well, I don't know about main event, but mid card, yes, he had the tools to become a U.S. or Intercontinental champion. Honestly,
he could have been a good heel. He would have been a great heel.
he was a great heel, but look what they did with him. He pretty much was getting fed to everybody. He had a okay finisher, the drift away, but
Yeah,
What a fucking name.
he was
the
going
drift
down
away.
the drain.
What a
Hey,
fucking name
hey, here's the thing,
for your fucking finisher.
Dylan. Here's the thing,
Drift away.
Dylan. Here's the crazy thing. He also drifted away. He drifted right out the door from WWE.
And he became Ezekiel.
You knew he was going down the drain when they made him Ezekiel. When they
Oh yeah,
popped
it
him
was
back
done.
after that
It was
hit.
done.
Hey,
it was
there's
no
one
point-
question though. One thing I want to figure out: how the hell did he grow his beard back so freaking fast?
He had a
Hey.
woman. He probably had a woman, and he had put him some overtime, and that's probably how he got his beard back.
Damn, that's lost testosterone.
That's a lot.
You're right. But honestly, I don't know if any company will sign him. I feel like maybe at best NWA. I just feel like that might be the best place for him. Dylan, you said he probably ain't gonna find work. Honestly,
No.
Gordon,
Again, like, in all seriousness, like, let's be honest. How many matches can you recall where Elias or Ezekiel put on a 3 out of 5 match to make you excited for him to come back, to have a title opportunity for at least the United States Championship?
the
Have
fact
an
is,
opportunity to be in the Money in the Bank qualifying match.
it was crazy. The only title he's won was the 24/7 title. He's challenged for the Intercontinental against Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank 2018, but outside of that, he hasn't really done anything else. He's never challenged for the world titles or anything.
They have so many other wrestlers out there that they could spend their money on that I don't think a lot of places will take him. Maybe NWA, maybe. But other than that, I don't see him going to Impact. I don't see him going to AEW, even though he could be a good character. Someone could push him really hard and he'd be pretty decent. I mean, there's so many other guys out there that they can spend their money on that I really don't see him, being the top. Maybe they might pay him minimum wage. I don't know. But I don't think him going anywhere. I mean,
Man.
they don't want to take. They would, if they did, they would change his character. He would not be the drifter anymore because they don't want to. No one wants to take WWE's used trash.
Not that you got a point there. Yeah, I just don't think they're gonna sign the guy.
No.
The next person we got to talk about is Shanky. If you guys don't remember who Shanky is.
Next.
Yeah, Shanky. I'm sorry, bro.
Next.
I don't.
And Aziz all at Walmart. Walmart hiring.
They might be all at Walmart together. I think the only thing that they've done with Shanky is had him do dancing with Samantha Irving, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then he had a match with Gunther. He just had a match with Gunther on Superstar Spectacle for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
That match wasn't shown. And from rightfully so, because that match probably been a straight up squash match, but I don't know about him. Next person, I feel like we all in agreement. We don't think he's gonna probably get signed anywhere. I'm sorry. I really think we're not being mean, guys, in the chat. If you guys come on here, we're not being mean. We just feel like these guys and girls might not be able to find.
There's a very select amount of superstars that unfortunately
not everybody will be able to get signed to these companies. Like, they only gonna get people that they feel like will benefit the roster or be some type of help if there's something that they're lacking, if they're looking at these people across the release list, they're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna open the checkbook because this person can brings this to the table. This girl brings this to the table. They might be able to do this here. So if they really haven't done too much or shown that they have promise, then I don't think they're gonna probably get signed.
Yeah, I mean, we're just cracking jokes. I
Yeah,
mean,
we're just cracking jokes. We're just having
I'm
fun,
sure.
guys.
I'm sure if these guys meet up in real life
Deadass
and knew
honest.
what we were talking about, they would beat our ass right now.
Bring those beat bastards right to Walmart. All three of them. Shanky, Aziz, and Floppy D Doppity Dollar. Bring those little bastards straight to Walmart.
Because I wouldn't
Absolutely.
talk
Right
shit
to
to
start the
Shanky's
checkout.
face. If I saw Shanky walk up on me right now, I would
tell
act
him,
like
yo,
the
you
biggest
suck.
fan.
I'm gonna get you
Okay.
a
I
target
didn't talk about you
right
the other
now.
day. I swear.
We're gonna move away just for a little bit from these other talents, and we're gonna come back to them. But we got to talk about another big name, Shelton Benjamin. The guy is a former Intercontinental champion, a former U.S. champion, tag team champion. The guy, I feel like, deserved to be a future world champion, but it never came to full fruition. The guy he's went out is after being released the first time. He went out on the Indies. He had a little stint in Impact. He was in New Japan, and now went back to WWE. So now he's released again. Honestly, I feel like at best Shelton Benjamin,
the king of mid card.
Walmart.
He's Walmart too. I think he. I feel like
that's
maybe
Costco right there.
I feel like he's getting with the fact that he'll always be
no. Shelton Benjamin,
bro. That was
Shelton
funny.
Benjamin is as old as I am. Shelton
I remember
Benjamin's
that
been wrestling as long as I've been.
I remember that gimmick.
Yeah.
If you guys don't remember that gimmick,
Shelton Benjamin's first gimmick, to date how old I am, was when he came in with Brock Lesnar with the Team Dream USA.
Yep.
That was under Kurt Angle back in the early 2000s. Yep. This is now before Randy Orton's debut in 2002. This is before Cena's debut in 2002.
And I believe
before Leviathan Batista in 2002. Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin and someone else, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but those two men, Brock and Shelton, came in together in a Dream Team USA Tag Team Championship matches. And those two gentlemen put on a clinic. Clinic. Now, Shelton Benjamin went off and became one of the best, in my opinion, next to Randy Orton, the best Intercontinental Champion of the early 2000s before Orton.
Easily.
Shelton Benjamin was one of the best tag team champions before Evolution took the belts. Shelton Benjamin is probably one of the best in-ring performers of the early 2000s to mid-2010s you will ever see in your life. And the fact that they let Shelton go like they let Dolph go is shocking. Both gentlemen should have been paid more than what they've done. Charlie Haas, yes.
That was
before they let them go, they should have offered Shelton a writer's position or a talent position immediately and let him sit in the back and work on talent. Imagine you would see Shelton Benjamin as the new manager of the Hurt Business right now with Bobby and the Soup Profits and possibly Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Are you kidding me?
That's money waiting to happen.
Be the fucking guy to run the Hurt Business,
but not even that though, Dylan. Because not even that.
My money.
The guy, he even remember I think it was early on in his career. Those Money in the Bank matches, he had some of the best spots. Like literally the athleticism that this guy had.
He's a hell of a wrestler.
2003 to 2008. Shelton Benjamin ran Money in the Bank.
Oh, yeah.
His spots alone his title defenses alone, his competition, the opponents he faced, 4 opportunities alone, and the Michaels match in between made Shelton Benjamin the breakout superstar we saw when he was with Haas and Lesnar in the American Dream Team tag team.
Oh, yeah.
100%. I don't think anybody would argue that. I don't
think
He's just a
you
mid
can.
card, and he would always
watch.
in WWE.
I'm not even kidding you. When I was probably like 7 going into 8 years old. Not great, but 7 into 8. And I saw Brock, this bald-headed, big, brawly dude, this other big, brawly dude, and then then Shelton Benjamin is walking in. And I said, look at this fucking lineup of 3 Stooges. These 3 Stooges are going to get their ass chewed out. And I tell you what, they put on a fucking clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Put on a clinic. When Brock Lesnar hit that moonsault, it felt like a 1,000-pound bear just landed on you.
Yeah.
There was no chance for you.
It wasn't.
There was no chance for you.
And I think with Shelton Benjamin,
the best Sweet Chin Music next to Michaels was Shelton Benjamin. And I will die saying that.
And you have a point there.
Saying that.
And the thing with Shelton Benjamin, I think another thing is for him, he would be great as a coach. I think he would be great as a PC coach, helping like these newer talent coming in, helping them, develop and come up with characters and helping them with the in-ring work and everything like that, the things that they're going to need, or even being a backstage producer even. And like you've said, Dylan, maybe being like the manager for the newly formed Horde business, that's money.
Writer. His mind for the business alone, like Dolph, would surpass that. We would, in all honesty, and I might be the only one that'll ever fucking say this. I might be the only content creator to ever fucking say this. But Shelton Benjamin, if he was a writer, would bring a brand new look to the tag team and middleweight division class.
I believe
instantly.
I really do. I believe it. I'm gonna agree with you because guy will bring.
There's no chance in hell we wouldn't see a different change. We would see more matches for Ricochet, Santos. We'd have tag team competition with the Viking Raiders better, New Day better, Sioux Profits better. We'd have more stories. Those divisions that used to matter in the early 2000s and 2010s.
Even the cruiserweights, because the cruiserweights were getting booked.
Top tier again because of Shelton Benjamin.
I'm about to make you guys hate me.
Okay, let's see what you got to say.
Shelton Benjamin, the king of mid-card. He's not going to be anything more. He probably won't be anything less. But Shelton Benjamin, every time I've seen him in the ring, not impressed me. He looked good.
Hot take.
Hot take.
I just don't.
Are you a banana head?
No, I'm just saying that's
no.
I just don't care for him. He's never really entertained me.
Orton,
the only time he's ever entertained me is when he came out with his mom.
Have you watched the Michaels and Benjamin match?
No, if you haven't, go watch it.
No, so then you can't say that. You can't sit there and say that Shelton Benjamin's.
I feel like the thing with Shelton Benjamin.
You can't say that.
I've probably seen it. I watched a lot of matches when I was younger. But like
you were younger though, so you really didn't have like a full opinion on everything at this point. But the thing with Shelton,
Michaels put on a clinic. Benjamin and
he's a good wrestler.
Benjamin versus Rob Van Dam was probably the craziest ladder match I ever saw as a 12-year-old in my fucking life. And that shit was on Raw. Like when Eddie and Rob did that shit. Dude. What?
The thing is,
wild.
My problem with that, Shelton Benjamin, I feel like the thing what was done when it was like a done deal that they had nothing for him is after they finished that that whole storyline when he was part of the Hurt Business. When Shelton was with Cedric and they had the tag titles, when they took the tag titles off of them and Bobby pretty much left them,
Yeah.
it was done. They was done because I feel like there was nothing else for them to do with him or put him in the mid card. You couldn't do that. Main event, it wasn't gonna happen. People weren't gonna take him serious. So at that point, he was just pretty much gonna be used as an enhancement talent at best. So there was nothing else for him to do. It was nothing. He was done.
I don't know why they brought him back. That was the thing.
They brought him back in 2017. He was pretty much with Chad Gable after they broke up American Alpha, which was stupid, by the way. And after that tag team broke up, he really didn't do much. Then they put him with Hurt Business. Looked like he was on a bit of a resurgence. Then after that, he held the tag titles and then held the 24/7 title. That was it.
He like you guys said, he would be good in the back. He'd be good helping younger talent. His days are gone. He's not. I don't see him do anything
You
else.
can't say no. He would be good in the back. After you just said he was over the fucking ring. You can't say that.
Right in the back. I mean, he's like I said, he's a good wrestler. I just don't see him doing anything.
You just called him mad 5 minutes ago.
He is mad.
He ain't
I mean,
mad.
I can admit he's a good wrestler, but
you
he's
know
mad.
Who's mad. You know who's mad? Shanky, Aziz, floppity doppity dollar. All right.
Hey, you know what? You know what they're gonna be doing? You know what they're gonna be doing? They're gonna at best they'll probably be security for the WWE events or any other of these wrestling companies.
Shelton Benjamin is security.
It's gonna be like Finley coming out with a show.
I tell him to fucking quit his job.
No, I'm talking about everybody else that we talked about outside of Shelton and Dolph, like Aziz, Kato, and Shanky. I can see them doing security.
Yeah, see
security.
them coming down trying to stop Brock Lesnar from killing people.
Now let's talk about somebody who actually does have potential to do something in a different company.
Shelton, I see an Impact though.
Impact, yes. Impact for me. I have an Impact.
Wasn't he in Impact? Before?
He had like a little stint in Impact before coming back. But the next person, I feel like we're gonna do these two as one, and that is Emma and Riddick Moss.
Very simple. Emma, Riddick Moss, go get married, never enter the ring again, work at Target, do something for Claire, for J.K. Jeweler.
Hey, Target's
don't ever go back in the wrestling ring again.
Honestly, I feel like if anything, they're probably gonna end up going to Impact. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, Emma, she was doing great work in Impact before coming back to WWE. And I think when she got released, it sucked because it's like she literally went on Twitter and talked about them having Eliminated Chamber be in Australia, which she's from. And she was very excited about that because I feel like when they had that show, she was somebody I feel like could have challenged someone like a Rhea Ripley in Australia for that title. Would she win? No, but it would have been a huge moment for her because she's competing in her hometown.
Leia.
What? She's
Leia.
I didn't say she was gonna win.
Leia. Do you want her to get fired after she got embarrassed in her home country? Or do you want her to get fired now before she had to enter and get embarrassed?
Before, but it still sucks because she went on and talked about how excited she was, and then she literally like a couple minutes later, she said, "Oh, that's not gonna happen. I got released." That was tough. That was the definition of tough. Like you're excited for a moment, and they're like, "Nope, you're fired. You gotta get your bags. You got 90 days. You gotta go." But Riddick Moss was somebody I feel like had potential to be a mid-card guy. And the thing is, he had backing from Paul Heyman because he viewed him as a main event guy. But the thing is, nobody else viewed that outside of Paul Heyman. So I feel like it wasn't going to amount to much. As much as he's done, which is literally nothing, because all he did was hold the 24/7 title and then had that goofy storyline with Happy Corbin. That's it. And he won the Under the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And, that doesn't really amount to much anyway. So him being an Impact, I could think be the best place for him.
I heard there's a thing going on now about people, Vince's guys, and you got Triple H's guys. He was one of Vince's guys, not Triple H's. Triple H doesn't give a crap. That's part
And
of
then
probably part of the reason why he's gone now.
Emma, Saraya, she pretty much kind of teased that she probably would try to bring Emma into AEW. Will it happen? It's a possibility. It's a
No.
possibility.
They don't really
It's a
got
very small possibility,
nothing.
mind you, but
Go
it
back
is
to
possible.
Impact.
Impact is the best place for it because I feel like the women do get treated better in Impact, and they have one of the best women's divisions in wrestling. I'm gonna say it now. I've said it before. I'm saying it again. Impact has the best women's division. Impact has the best stories, the best storytelling, the best matches, and they're underrated. And I feel like that the women will pretty much just flourish there. As far as Rick Moss goes, I feel like he might be an X Division champion. X Division champion, maybe at some point, maybe put the Impact World title on him if the story is right. But Impact is the best place for those two.
Yeah,
Honestly.
Impact. I agree with you on Impact. Emma especially Impact, mostly because if she wants to get good character development, she can go to Impact, build herself up. Maybe she could come back to WWE if she gets popular. And if not, then I don't see her going pretty much anywhere else. AEW should just be the same as WWE, just sitting there doing
And that's the
matches, losing,
problem.
winning, losing, winning.
That's the problem because a lot of these people go to AEW, they have a great debut, and then after that, they're pretty much stuck on Rampage, and that's somewhere you don't want to be. That's pretty much like your counterpart of Main Event, pretty
Yeah,
much.
because they're just gonna pay people to come in to fight with Saraya. That's it.
That's pretty much it. So I don't know. I feel like Impact is the best place for them. The next name we got to talk about is another big name, but I feel like a lot of people expected it. That being Matt Riddle, or AKA Tarzan.
AKA Pup Pup Pass.
In the words of Dana White, the guy cannot stay sober.
You can't.
Like,
The guy can't. He can't leave the trees alone.
he has so much freaking potential. That guy has so much potential. He can do. God, it pissed me off so much.
It pissed
He
me
can
off
do
because
a
he has so much
lot.
potential. When he
I still don't know
like,
what's up with the guy.
I felt like when he first came in, the potential that he had, I feel like he could have been a future world champion. I feel like the potential was there. But then I feel like it was expected he was going to get released because of all the trouble he's been in with the recent accusations, all his past relationships, and everything that they say about him. He's a PR nightmare. He is a PR nightmare because when people go onto these news outlets, what are they going to say? They're not going to say Matt Riddle. They're going to say WWE superstar Matt Riddle and whatever that happened. That's a bad look on WWE. And now with the recent merger, it's a bad look on UFC as well. It's a bad look on both companies, and I don't think they want to have anything to do with that. And Matt Riddle, and even with the other accusations with him leaking his picture on social media or whatever that happened, like really,
Well,
you don't
the
have a
recent
VPN.
accusation was that while he was at JFK, he was supposedly sexually assaulted by a police officer.
Yeah,
Then he redacted that statement, and then WWE had an internal investigation about it. So,
it's before he goes to any other company, he needs to get serious help. Before he thinks about going to any company, he
look,
needs to get help. He needs to go to the program. He needs to spend some time in rehab, get better, and get his life together.
I'm gonna say this, and maybe I might get canceled for this. I really don't think so, but I might get canceled for it. Weed's one thing. All the other stuff is another.
Yeah.
All the other nonsense that he brings to the table with his name is another.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a pothead, he's a pothead. Pot's pot. Everybody does it. Everybody, everyone one time in their life or becomes a habit or whatever. Everyone's a pothead eventually. everyone's a pothead. All right.
Mm-hmm.
At one point in their life, it's what happens. All right. But when you start expanding the tries of what you want to do in that type of world, can cost you a lot of problems. And it seems like he's tried a couple other things that have costed him a lot of potential in a business that could have gave him more than he ever could have dreamed of.
Yep.
And with the potential that he had in the UFC and then going to WWE, he had the potential to be a superstar. He did amazing with Randy, and it seemed like things were going in the right direction. But
Mm-hmm.
then after Randy's injury and Riddle seemingly trying to tag team up with others or single competition and or in the feud with the bloodline and all these other crazy irrational
He was
stories,
U.S. champion too.
it was a time where Riddle was not what we thought he could be. Because
Mm-hmm.
even after the lights shut off, he was still a problem for the WWE. He is a huge PR nightmare, and because of that, is mostly the reason why he's been terminated. So I wish nothing but the best for the guy. I wish no ill will on the man. I also hope he gets some help. If he just becomes a pothead, great. If he becomes fully sober, even better.
Mm-hmm.
Because the opportunities he keeps closing on himself are endless. But this time it's going to end. And he did just close one of the biggest opportunities, which is the WWE. Now, the rumors going around that AEW is considered putting him on. And I would say this. If AEW wants to be closed and not have a company anymore, you sign Matt Riddle.
Because he's gonna be just like CM Punk.
No.
I'm telling you.
No. He's going to bring PR that is different than CM Punk to
Oh.
Tony Khan's doorstep that Tony Khan and Papa Khan are not going to be able to pay their way out of. And it's going to be very cost effective to have him around. And as much as people might like the guy, it is not worth all of that drama.
It's not.
So I'd say let him do his own thing. Keep him around in the back. If he has a couple cool ideas for companies, consider them thoroughly. But do not sign him for a contract in any which way. Do not have him come on for a moment. If he shows up at a show, do not put the fucking camera on him. Don't do it. Don't
Nope.
do it. It is going to cost you more to keep him in the company than it is for him to work in that company. And it's sad because there is possibilities. There are opportunities for him to grow and to succeed. He was a champion. As crazy as that sounds, he was a champion. So there is that possibility he can be champion again. He could be TNT champion. He could be Impact champion. He could be AEW world champion. But he needs to get his shit together and go get some help and come back ready to go, fully invested in the show, and he will do great. We'll be seeing, if we 6 months from now hear that he's been clean for 6 months, we're going to have so much hope for the guy. But in 6 months from now, we might hear another thing from the guy in a very not so positive aspect.
And that's not going to be a good look.
That's not what people want to see. So That's my take on it. So cancel me. But
Gordon, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Nah, I just feel like I mean, he's dropped the ball wherever he's gone. I don't think
Yeah.
there's not much to it. I mean, when he starts lying about stuff like this, then
It's not right.
something's serious right. So something's not
Something,
right.
yeah,
You need to
something's
you
not right
need
up there.
help. And I feel like if anyone were to hire him, they're just hiring him just to make money. It's only going to make it worse. He's going to get a
Yeah,
lot farther now.
yeah, you're getting money. You're gonna might get a little bit of ratings, but at what cost are you getting these ratings? Uh, yeah, that is gonna suck. But he's gonna have to get some serious help. The
yeah.
next person or two people we got to talk about is another.
Jesus, how many fucking more are there?
We got about 5 more people,
21.
5, 6.
Holy shit! I thought we
Yeah.
were done here.
We're very close. We got over almost half, the majority of them done. The next person we're gonna talk about is Ikemenjiro.
Who?
He's part of NXT. He had a tag team between him and Kushida before he got released. Pretty much he built his name outside of WWE on the Indies and in New Japan in the Japanese scene. Me personally, I think if anything, he's going to probably go back to Japan, probably go to New Japan. I think that I didn't really see too much from him, but I've seen a little bit and it was okay. I really couldn't click with him. I think he's just going to go back to Japan. Honestly, I don't know where else he's going to be able to sign to. I'm gonna be honest.
Are there other names that we all know who the fuck they are?
We got Quincy Elliott, who's pretty much Quincy Elliott. In my personal opinion, he was a mixture between Goldust and another version of Velveteen Dream. He's pretty much if those two guys, if they had a kid, it'd be.
Got it.
He kind of he's.
Going back to Jiro, I didn't like I said I was not really a big avid NXT watcher before when 2.0 came on. I was like, nah. So yeah, I mean, I didn't really get to see much. I'm pretty sure he's a hell of a wrestler, but they just didn't use him.
He was mainly on Level Up, and he always wrestled in a jacket.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Jacket.
He wrestled in a suit jacket, it seemed like. I think it was a suit jacket. So I feel like he's going to go back to New Japan. Quincy Elliott, he burnt him. I feel like he kind of, in a sense of Matt Riddle, he kind of said some crazy things, talking to underage people and some other allegations of being homophobic.
Hang out with homophobic. Go hang out with Quince Hansen, Quincy.
I don't know. I feel like his character was okay. I just feel like I can never get used to him being in the ring. It just never sat anywhere with me. But we're gonna move on to the next people. We're gonna go quickly, a little bit quicker here. Mustafa Ali.
There it is.
The guy had all the potential in the world to do great things, and I feel like he was a victim of stop and start pushes. And I feel like he had a great mind for what he does. He had some great ideas, but it never played out on WWE television because the reason being WWE didn't want to use any of his ideas. And me personally, he goes to any other company, he's going to use some of these ideas and it's going to be entertaining for sure. I feel like
of Mustafa's ideas.
I think he was doing like a whole presidential campaign thing of him becoming North American champion. And the thing is, Fox didn't want to do that. He didn't want to do. Fox was scared of him doing that type of gimmick. For what? For what? There was no reason you should be scared to do a presidential gimmick with Mustafa. And he came in from 205 Live. The guy can have great matches. He had some banger matches with Buddy Matthews, or at the time, Buddy Murphy. He had a great match with Daniel Bryan. I feel like he could have been on track to becoming WWE champion if he didn't get injured.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to make up for it with him, and he was penciled in, and this was confirmed. He was penciled in to win Money in the Bank in 2019 until Brock Lesnar showed up. As soon as Brock Lesnar showed up and said, "Oh, I'm gonna be there," they changed plans right then and there.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what the hell is this?
That's Quincy Elliott.
Yeah, no, he's definitely talking to some minors. That man is definitely talking to minors.
Oh my
For
goodness.
sure.
It's like a drama
For
queen.
sure.
A drag
But
queen.
Mustafa Ali, I feel like AEW, he could do great work. Impact, I think he would be a great asset for the X Division title scene, even the main event scene as well. I feel like the sky's the limit for this guy. It sucks that they just didn't do anything with him. I feel like the nail in the coffin was when they had him do that whole retribution thing. That right there was just the end of his career. And then him doing the whole SmackDown hacker thing looked like it was promising, didn't go anywhere. Retribution had promise, but just like the Nexus, gone. Just like the Nexus, terrible. Probably the worst storyline and the worst gimmick and faction ever in WWE history, in my opinion. I'm going to stand by that. Worst faction, worst storyline. Terrible. But the grass is hopefully green on the other side. I think he's definitely someone I can see in Impact or AEW. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to go AEW.
Retribution, the one with the bondage
I'd
gear.
say, yeah, I'd also go AEW as well. I'd also go AEW. There's a lot there for him. There's people like Gravity, the Kingo, Commander,
Him versus Will
Aussie
Ospreay.
Open. There's a lot more talent in his wheelhouse there than there is in Impact. Now, don't get me wrong, Impact does have a lot of great athletic, flexible, luchador style wrestlers that can come up with high flying abilities and quick ground and in-work game, but AEW almost prides themselves on that with how many there are in that company. So I feel like Mustafa would be able to hang with them a lot more easier than someone like Impact.
I mean, yeah, but like Impact do have some great talent, like Trey Miguel, Kushida, Leo Rush, just to name a few. He could put great matches up with those guys any day of the week, and I think people will be.
Didn't Mustafa Ali? Didn't he ask for his release?
He did, and it was crazy. I feel like me personally, I think this is a sense of where him getting his release, asking for his release, came back to haunt him, and then it sucks because he was in the middle of a storyline. He literally had an impending title match at this upcoming NXT pay-per-view.
Oh.
So it made no sense. You built it up, you got people invested, only to get him out right before his title match. If anything, you should have waited to release him after his title opportunity.
I think Endeavor is going through a lot of looking at the people who, ask for releases, who have no really true value for the company. I believe they're just kicking the people out that, they should have been let go and kicked out a while ago. They kept Mustafa Ali way too long. They should have done more for him. And he realized that, and he wanted to release. He wanted to go somewhere else, but they just wanted to hold on to him because they didn't want no other company to get him. I just feel like, Mustafa could have done really well other places, but they just, WWE wanted to be greedy.
Yeah, they're greedy. And then I feel like another thing is WWE is going to look at this like they really just never realized what his worth was. And it was right in their face the entire time. So it's like, hey, he's going to go elsewhere. He's going to make a big name for himself. Let's just be honest.
I'm going to put you down.
The next people we got to talk about, I think there's going to be a tag team. We got to talk about the Maximum Male Models, former Maximum Male Models, Massey and Mansoor.
Mansei!
Those guys, I feel like they're going to Impact.
Yeah. Rebranded at Impact.
I feel like they could still do like the Maximum Male Model type of model gimmick. I feel like it would probably fit better in Impact than it for AEW because AEW is not really going to do that whole comedic type of stuff like that. So
put them to the indies.
I mean, the problem is in WWE they had two groups that were pretty much the same. They had these guys, and they had what were those guys? Other
But he
guys
got
called?
jacked though. Mansoor, he
My
got jacked like when he first. But the thing I heard this is was crazy. They didn't want him in NXT because of his racial background, which was stupid.
wow,
They didn't want him on NXT for
Sean,
that.
bastard.
So it's weird to me that they didn't
Fucking
want
lazy
him
eye.
on NXT because of that. But I don't know. I could see them going to the Indies, honestly, having them do some stuff in the Indies, kind of build up their credibility again.
Yeah, again, it's and I feel like it goes for a lot of these wrestlers too. Like, if they weren't used properly, and when they were used properly or used at all, they didn't perform at the levels that we thought that they could perform at. Top Dollar, Aziz, Shanky, Aaliyah, Mansoor, his partner, a lot of these guys, besides Quincy, because he's part of Catch a Predator and everything. But the rest of these guys, the rest of these men and women who did have opportunities that tried to showcase their talents, they weren't impressive. They didn't stick. They didn't land. They kept changing their gimmicks. They kept trying different things, coming out with different ideas, coming out with different motives and gimmicks. And, after a while, the fans who aren't, a banana head, they're going to catch on. They're going to watch on. They're going to say, you know what, maybe I need to realize that I'm watching trash. This is garbage. This is hot garbage. And they need to go back to that indie scene. Let's be honest here. Let's be very frank here for a second. Dominic Mysterio, a few years ago, was booty cheeks.
Oh, believe me,
Okay?
yeah.
Dominic Mysterio
Extra sesame seeds.
was booty cheeks. Toilet paper still stuck in your ass crack even after you wiped. Okay? We're talking cottonelle and all. Like, booty cheeks. Left his father, had a gimmick, joined a faction full of talented superstars that trained them, that worked with him side by side, that gave him that NXT treatment on the main roster, built him now to have matches against none other than Cody Rhodes.
Seth
Now,
Rollins.
Dominic Mysterio is more over than anybody else, even if he's getting booed out of the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a man that 3 years ago, we all said need to go back to NXT. Needs to go back to NXT. His father was the only one that was saving him.
It was never in NXT, was it?
No. Because
And he's on NXT now.
Yeah, he's in NXT now, but as a champion, and
He is
done.
now, yeah, but back then he wasn't.
The guy
He came
right
in-
now, my personal opinion, he's in the top heel in WWE right now. I know people want to bring up Roman Reigns. Here's the thing.
He ain't no fucking heel. He's on fucking vacation.
Roman
All right.
Reigns to me is a tweener. The reason I say that, yeah, he's technically a heel, but when you see him show up on your WWE television, people still cheer him. People still put up the ones. When Dominic steps foot in any arena, he gets booed out the building. Nobody in any arena is cheering whatsoever.
When
That's how you know
Roman
he's a
Reigns
heel.
comes out, I put up the middle finger.
Me too.
I hit him right with it.
When he
I
faced
hit him
Drew
right
that
with
year, when my hate started. My hate started.
Yeah, man.
I'm kid you not. My hate
Well, we
started.
got off
with
topic
Wrestling
with
Guy.
Dom. We got off topic with Dom, though.
I feel like it started. The hate started with Roman at Clash, but that's a different story. But
That's
man,
a whole podcast.
Mansoor, I feel like he has potential to do singles capacity stuff.
That's the point I'm making. It's a lot of these guys that we've seen in the WWE, wrestle and have opportunities, sucked.
Yeah.
And even had those matches with the same caliber that they were putting out, still sucked ass.
Yeah.
Trash. Bikini Bottom's worst. And what happened? They're now gone. But what needs to happen is a nice indie run. It's not a shame. Like, I know a lot of people think that that's a bad thing to say to wrestlers
indie wrestling
outside the
scene is
WWE.
it's better than
not
it's
a
ever
bad
been.
thing to say. Matt Cardona. Let's just be honest here for a second again. Matt Cardona used to be Zack Ryder. Woo woo, massive
You know
fucking Matt Ryder. Matt Cardona used to be called Zack Ryder. Woo woo, and that was his fucking gimmick. He won a championship. Then he died off. Nobody wanted him because WWE didn't want to book him. He started not performing the same caliber matches that he's been doing now as Matt Cardona in the indie scene. He found his niche in the indie scene and has become the indie fucking guy. He's the indie guy. Mustafa and all these other people, men and women, have that opportunity. The indies are the perfect way for somebody that has that WWE, AEW, New Japan, Impact experience, now going into the ring with up-and-coming superstars that have the potential to go to these big promotions and win opportunities to be in those big promotions. Having someone in your corner like a Mansoor or a Top Dollar or a Captain Aziz or anyone else, a Dana Brooke and Aaliyah, and have that opportunity to face them in an indie scene is a good thing. That is a fucking win. That is a fucking win.
It really
That's
is.
not a loss. And
Because
people get out of their heads that it's a loss. It's not a loss. Yeah,
people look at it as a bad thing for whatever reason. I don't understand why people look at the indies as a bad thing. Because the indie scene right now is like, look at it maybe like 5 years ago compared to now.
The indies is more hotter than the fucking regular TV shows that we watch every single week.
And the thing, is, you can say what you're saying, Horton. Go on.
Yeah, WWE only has so little time. You know, you can't spread them. They can't spread their time.
They got 3 hours of bullshit on Monday, 2 hours of caca on Tuesdays, 2 hours of caca on Fridays. They got a goddamn champion that's over in the Cayman Islands. They got a goddamn
they just got to manage their time better. That's
chopping the fucking competition in half.
Like,
they
for
got
instance,
the goddamn
SmackDown,
Dominic Mysterio wrestling for an NXT championship with the Judgment Day and JD McDonough hanging out in the background. They got, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours of caca television each and every week, guaranteed, plus 4 hours of a pay-per-view that doesn't have a build anymore. They have more. They have more time. They have more time than AEW on a weekly basis, and they still are putting out booty cheek shows.
Yeah, but they got more interesting superstars. That's the thing. I mean,
who
you
besides
can't
LA
give
Knight?
Who?
Besides LA Knight and Jey Uso. Jey Uso is literally over right now. Jey Uso is over right now.
I don't like.
Stop making him lose.
I don't like Jey right now, and I might be the only one.
I just feel like from a character standpoint and how he's perceived, I feel like he's over. LA Knight, mega over. I feel like Seth Rollins, in a sense of people like to sing his song.
I know this is off topic, but did they drop the whole someone going to SmackDown for Jey?
No,
that's still ongoing. It's gonna be Cody.
It's Cody, but we're just dragging it out.
But the next person,
there's your 7 hours of television, Horton. There's your 7 hours of television. For 3 days a week, we're still dragging out the idea of, we already know it's Cody Rhodes going back to SmackDown. So that way he goes, Friday Night SmackDown.
I'm coming for you,
Roman. What
Roman.
do you want to talk about? How about we talk about the fact that the bloodline's dismembered? How about we talk about that Jay's over at Raw? Jimmy wants to come back to Daddy. Roman's still the champion, but he's on vacay. Solo's thinking of leaving. Paul Heyman's hairline's falling back like LeBron's career. How many times do I have an opportunity to get my story straight? 0. SmackDown, what do you want to talk about? That's
the next
what we're going to
person
hear Friday Night SmackDown. And
The
he's gonna
next
open the
person.
show. He's gonna open the show, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my God, it's Cody Rhodes! Oh my God, it's Cody Rhodes!" And then he's gonna say the same bullshit that he says on Raw. And then guess what happens? WrestleMania 40 comes. Solo's gonna fucking throat fuck him right there.
Hey, pause.
He's gonna fucking thumb throat fuck him right there, and that's it. Lost again. Then you know what you send him to NXT. I'd send Cody straight to NXT as a punishment. Absolutely.
Yo, the next person. That was a funny one. The next person we got to talk about is Rick Boogs.
He can boo his way out of WWE because he ain't coming back.
I don't know, man.
He was on the Snickers commercial. He made me buy a Snickers bar.
He has the look. Let's be honest. He does have the look.
He made me buy a Snickers bar.
He has the look, consider he's very jacked and everything like that. But I don't.
In the ring.
He's not. He feels a little.
In the ring.
I don't know where you put him. Maybe NWA.
You put him with Top Dollar, Walmart greeter. You put him right there, dude. I would love to walk into a Walmart with Rick Boogs as the greeter with his fucking guitar and be like, welcome to Walmart. I'm Rick Boogs. Are you kidding me? I'd buy the whole fucking store. I'd buy the whole fucking store to hear him jam out at the fucking greeting center right there in the beginning of the store. I'd lose my shit. I'd lose it. I feel
like if he wants to keep wrestling, because I feel like a lot of these women and guys on this list, I feel like I could see them want to continue to wrestle and everything like that. But it just depends on what company feels like they would be an asset. And a lot of them, I feel like they don't have that many options to work with, like a Dolph Ziggler or a Matt Riddle if he's healthy, or
Leo,
Mustafa Ali.
It's not that, buddy. It's not that. A lot of these wrestlers suck. Like, listen, we could sugarcoat it and be nice and be like, listen, I'm sorry that you lost your job and all this other bullshit. And maybe I'm just from New York and I'm fucking raw and I don't give a fuck. But the problem with that is a lot of these guys sucked. They did suck. I mean, they kept changing their gimmicks. They kept trying to advertise them in different ways. They tried putting them with the same caliber talent that they were putting out, and they weren't doing enough to keep their job. So I'm not shocked that they left. Boogs, on the other hand, was a great entertainer, but a bad performer in the ring. Now, if they took the time to train him properly without all the injuries that he sustained, he could have kept his job. He could have been someone, that would have been something exciting to see each and every week on SmackDown.
WWE's to blame for all that, man.
I feel like,
but it's also the fact that they picked up bad picks. Look at the Jets. I know we don't. I don't know if anyone watches football or whatever. I don't really watch football or anything like that. The Jets picked up Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks that you'll ever see in your life. Guess what happened? He fucked up and he blew out his quad. Now he's out for the whole entire year, and the Jets are now going to be booty cheeks again another year in a row.
Yep.
That's because they need to spend the money to build up somebody before they spend all that money for.
They spent the money on the Jets quarterback, banking on him to win. Like they banked on Top Dollar, like they banked on Captain Aziz and Shaggy and all of these other fucks that came on the roster. Majority of these releases, yes. All of the releases are sad. Everybody losing a job is not something to joke about. Nobody wants to lose a job. Nobody wants to not be able to feed their family. That is nothing to joke about. But a lot of the superstars that were terminated needed to be terminated. You have to cut out the fat for a product that has been around for 30 plus years. If they are willing to spend countless of dollars each and every month on superstars that they put out in front of you once, maybe twice in 1 month, put back on the bench, put back on the shelf. 6-7 months later, bring them back out again for a 2 to 3 week run, then bring them back in and reimagine them all over again. Lacey Evans, then you have nothing. You have nothing. You've wasted the money on the reason why you bought them. You get what I'm saying? You don't want to spend the money on these superstars that are not going to perform or be trained well and be able to be reimagined every few months. Nobody wants the same guy with a different pair of shorts with a different name that's still wrestling like trash. Nobody. Nobody wants to see it. I don't want to pay for it. I'm not going to a live show to watch it. I'm not going to see Rick Boogs at a pay-per-view. I'm not. I'm not going to see Captain Aziz at a live show. I'm not seeing Top Dollar at a live show because I know that money's going to be wasted. He's not. It's the fact that they don't care for their superstars. They've overextended their hand in the money to buy people that they believed could be good. They believe that these superstars could be good. And some of them are. Riddle, Benjamin, Dolph, Mansoor, Mustafa Ali, Boogs, all are good. That's 6. That's 6 straight off the dome. That are amazing. In the ring, outside the ring. But there's that other 6, 7 that isn't good. Isn't good. You're not. I'm not paying for a Doink the Clown anymore. I'm not. I'm not paying to watch a Eugene anymore. We're in an era that the talent needs to matter. And especially with AEW knocking on the door with talented superstars from not only Ring of Honor, but New Japan, Evolve, MLA, AWA, NWA, and a whole bunch of other indie shows coming on that program on a weekly basis and building up pay-per-views like we have this Sunday for Wrestle Dream. What is the point of throwing money away at people that you don't care about?
Right.
What's the point? Just so that the kids can buy your t-shirt one time? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. A lot of these superstars suck. They suck. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks that. Maybe I'm the only one that's watching it and saying this. But it needs to be said.
I mean, everybody has.
The problem is you got old era guys talking about a new era of WWE.
But the new era sucks. There's a lot of men in the new era that are better than what they have currently.
But and for some of them, it doesn't. And I think with some of the talent is they were part of the wrong era. Maybe if they were part of a different era, it would maybe have been a different story.
But if you ask kids, though, kids find this stuff entertaining.
Right, but that's the problem, though. That's the other big thing about it is, Horton, if you take your kid to the WWE show, right, wherever you are, you go, you know what, son, daughter, whatever, I'm taking you to a WWE show. I want you to see what I've grown up watching. The product that I love, that I grew up on, that I love so much, I'm going to take you to it. And you go there and you pay for a carnival show and your kids are happy, but you're not happy, then it's okay because your kids are happy.
Yeah.
But now you and your boys go who have watched this product for 30 years and you watch a carnival act, you're like, what the fuck am I watching? Yes, we're in a totally different era. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Once John Cena started doing the Fruity Pebble color shirts, we were in a totally different era. Everything was geared to the children. He said it. In his documentary, he said it. He said, I looked out in the fans and I saw younger and younger faces. So I had to stop doing the raps. I had to stop doing what I knew I got myself over with. And I had to change. And what happened? There was an extensive year of people screaming, "Fuck you, Cena. I hate you, Cena.
2006.
I used to love you, Cena." ECW had a sign that said, "If Cena won tonight, we're rioting here."
ECW One Night Stand, 2006, him versus Rob Van Dam for
Think about
the WWE title.
If the fans of the old era would have put money and paid for all this stuff, they wouldn't have had to turn to kids and get more
There's
money
a
from
way
them.
to have both.
Let's be honest with as far as Rick Boogs
There's
go.
a way to have both.
You
There's
said
a
he was
way
an
to have
entertainer, right?
both. It's not that you can't have both. I'm not saying, as an old head, we need to have the old shit. I'm not
No.
saying that. I'm saying there's a way to have both. But when you have both, you have to have an equal balance of both on both sides. You have to
'Cause you
have
won't
the
lose
good.
money.
No, because you won't lose money. If the children that are coming to the shows that are enjoying the Rick Boogs, the Top Dollars, the Captain Azizes, and all of them, they're going to come no matter what. But if you're showing up once in a while and only doing those once in a while shows, you're losing out on the opportunity for the children to win.
WWE is
Then
not.
you have
not
us
wrestling
as
anymore,
old
though.
heads
It's
complaining.
Sports Entertainment Company. There's
You get what I'm
Sports Entertainment
saying?
Company.
You get what I'm saying? If you and I went to a show today, right? If we went to Friday Night SmackDown that's going live right now as we talk, right? And we watch the product, yeah, a lot of us are gonna want to have the old shit because that's what we grew up on.
Yeah.
But we look out in the audience, it's all children now. It's Disneyland. SmackDown, Raw, NXT is for Disney. It's Disneyland. You got the Snow White rides and the Dumbo rides, and you got all this bullshit now. And it's fine. It's what happens. It grows, it evolves, it changes over time. It happens.
It does.
But
And what you said earlier.
you have to have an equal balance. If you're going to win over the kids, okay. But you got to do it on a weekly basis. You can't 1 week put the Captain Azizes, the Top Dollars, the Dana Brooks, and all of them on Monday. One Monday, and then 2 months later put them back on again.
Yeah, be consistent. Like you said,
Right.
consistent.
When we grew up, it was consistency. And that's what they lacked. That's what they lack. If you want the equal balance, which you can have, I'm not saying you can't have it. You know, like I know, like Leo knows, we watch the product. We watch the product. Everybody in the crowd are children. Yeah, you got your 20-year-olds, your 30-year-olds, your 60-year-olds, your 70-year-olds, your old men that are just hanging out because they're hanging out, whatever. But in general, you have majority of the fans, the people that are in the stands, people that are buying the seats are 50-50 now. Really, 70-40. And that 70 is the kids. Is those young 30-year-olds, 30 and below. The ones that just recently turned 30 and below.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have that equal balance, you're fucking over a whole generation that when they turn to our age, they're going to be saying the same thing. What happened to the Mustafa Alis? What happened to the Top Dollars? What happened to the Captain Azizes, the Shaggies, all the other people we've mentioned? What happened to the Aliyahs? What happened to Dolph? Why did Shelton leave? What is the problem that's happening that now you're bringing on talent that you're not going to give an opportunity to? And a perfect example, again, is Jade Cargill. If Jade Cargill comes on the main roster day one, they're going to have an opportunity that most likely could be squashed. Now, on that crowd, majority of them are not going to know who the fuck Jade Cargill is because they're WWE fans. And they only watch WWE. There's other people in the stands that know who the fuck Jade Cargill is.
I don't know. AJ Styles did it.
But AJ made a name elsewhere, so a lot of people kind of knew who he was.
Like Jade Cargill did outside of the WWE, and when he came, the WWE knew who he was, but at the time that he came, it was still changing to where we're at now. And if Jade comes, there is going to be that 50-50 split again. A lot of people, a lot of girls, specifically women, are going to either love her or hate her immediately. And it's going to be in the hands of WWE on how that is going to be received.
Yeah,
If throw her to the wolves
it's
and
not
give
gonna be pretty.
3 months of non-consistent matches that don't matter, squashes with women that don't get builds, and a women's division that's only in the top 5 or 6 women that we see each and every week, do not be surprised when you're wondering, where the fuck is Jade Cargill?
And before we get to this last name,
You have an opportunity to make Jade Cargill and that new women's division a very exciting women's division to watch.
and before we get to this last name, you said something about Rick Boogs. I feel like he's an entertainer. If anything, if you would have said that about a year ago, I could see him being in the JAS as just being there, just for the
Correct.
sake of entertaining.
Correct.
But that ain't happening, because he pretty much would be just like Jake Hager right now. He don't wrestle much. He was just there as muscle.
Right.
That's it. But the last person we got to talk about, we haven't mentioned her. Well, we made a few mentions. Is Dana Brooke. Me personally, if I have to sum up her career, is untapped potential.
Elite. Greatest, 5 out of 5. The greatest woman I've ever seen wrestle in my life. That's like,
I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. I am a huge fan of her. Let's put it down there. She has untapped potential. She is a very hard worker. Everything she was given, she tried. She tried to make it work. And it just and I have to give her credit, because not many people came out from the other side of a different world and came into WWE, and when it's all said and done, they had that passion. Because a lot of these people who come through these companies, they don't have the passion for what they do. It's just a simple fact. Some people have it and some people don't. She's one of those girls that actually had passion for what she does. She had passion for wanting to be better. She had passion for wanting to be more creative and have more opportunities to show what she can do. And you think about the different things that they've done with her. She started off as being with Emma in a tag team. That was a good thing for her to get her started. Then she moved on to being with Charlotte, which had potential to make her a main star. Did it work? No. And when that happened, she pretty much was not seen and pretty much was on main event on a regular basis. Then they started over again, and she was part of the 2019 Money in the Bank ladder match. A lot of people were considering her as a dark horse to win, because in that sense, yes, her winning would have been a shock, because here's the thing. We can sit up here and say, well, would it make sense if she would have won Money in the Bank? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it probably would have served as a shocking factor. Reason being, because look what happened. We've had so many shocking winners win a Royal Rumble and win Money in the Bank. Prime example, Alberto Del Rio. Nope. I just don't think he would have been a person I would have seen on these cards to say, like, yep, Alberto Del Rio's winning. No. You had so much stacked talent that it would have been hard for you to even predict someone like him winning. But yet, he did it. And Dana Brooke has the opportunity right now to go out and prove the doubters wrong. People have always criticized her and said she was the worst and this, that, and the third. She tried at the end of the day. And sometimes when you're in a different position where you're not getting opportunities, it sucks. It does. And what happened when she was in NXT? They were just getting booked consistently. That goes back to what Dylan was saying earlier, the consistency aspect. She was getting booked consistently. She was being put in a storyline. She was about to turn heel. And what happened? She got released. What does this mean for her going forward? What do I think is going to happen? Me personally, I think she is bound for Impact. I think Impact should sign her. I think she would get along with a lot of the talent there. She would have some great matches with the likes of Trinity, Deonna Purrazzo, even Mickey James. I think her coming in and having a feud with Mickey James and have her being the one to retire her or be her last opponent and give her that rub would be a great start for her. Now, do I think she's going to come in and automatically be in the title contention? No. I think you're going to be a sense where you can build her up. Build her up as she comes in and Impact. And even people even made the case for her going to AEW. But AEW, I feel like her going to AEW is just like having to take another step back. When she went to WWE, and what happened? She had opportunity a few here and there, but never a true opportunity. She was pretty much never used, ever. She's going to go to AEW. If she goes to AEW, what's going to happen? She's going to have her debut and pretty much not going to be seen anymore. I'm going to be honest. She's not going to be seen. Impact is the best place for her. Anything else, maybe have her go to OVW. Have her maybe go to MLW. Those are the only other two places I can see her doing. Or even have her do the indies. But me right now, with the talent that she has and the experience that she has being in the company for 10 years, she signed in 2013 for 10 years. She is somebody that will thrive. Put everything that you want to say about it. She will thrive in Impact. Thrive.
You know what I got from that?
What?
You want to hit Dana Brooks DMs, right?
No.
Yes, he does.
No.
Teacher, could you call on me, please? I've been waiting patiently with my hand up. Leo, can you call on me, please, so I can...
Dylan, you can
Thank
go.
you, God. All right, thank God. Who the fuck thought she was the dark horse winner for the 2019 Money in the Bank besides yourself?
No, but I'm thinking, look up the lineup. Let me pull up the lineup real quick, but you can keep talking.
Please pull up that lineup.
Because she was in 2019's and 2020's Money in the Bank.
Yeah, definitely pull up that lineup for me.
I'm going to pull up both lineups as we go. I'm going to go through it, and we will talk about 2019.
We're definitely talking about it. That's for sure.
So
she has the potential to be a star outside of WWE.
Yes, she really does. Impact is the place for her. Dylan, what would you say about her as far as where do you think she could possibly go? Do you see there is some type of potential for her somewhere
I'm going to have to break your balls like I broke Wolf's balls last night about Julia Hart. Now I got to break yours about Dana Brooke. So, Dana Brooke.
Moving into Leo's house.
Moving into Leo's house, taking care of him while he's recovering from his surgery, all right? And then after that, Walmart's also hiring. Tom Dolly could get her a nice job. Now.
Oh, man. She has potential outside of WWE. I wouldn't say that.
After she becomes a manager and becomes a franchisee owner of Walmart.
Everybody.
Hold on. After she becomes a franchisee manager of Walmart, maybe she can branch out and hit a couple 7-Elevens and really start gaining a lot of running motion. You know what I mean? But no.
Okay, I got the 2019 ladder match.
I can't wait to hear these goofy goobers besides Dana Brooke.
Okay, so these are the 2019 participants. We have Mandy Rose, Naomi, Carmella, Bailey, Alexa Bliss, Ember Moon, Natalia, and Dana Brooke.
So you're telling me Bailey, Bliss, Naomi, Ember Moon weren't more of an opportunity to bank on than Dana Brooke?
I didn't have her winning that year, but I think at the same time it would have served as a shocking pick. I feel like.
Listen, it would have shocked the shit out of us. I'll be honest with you. Shocked the shit out of me. You know, a lot of things don't shock the shit out of me, but that would shock the shit out of me.
The match?
Who was in 2019's?
Yeah.
No, who's 2020s now? Let's get to the 2020s.
Okay, so that was 20. Did you hear 2019's Horton?
Who won?
Bailey won that one.
Bailey won it.
Big booty Bailey.
She won that. This was before she became what she was now.
You know what I
Okay,
mean?
so these were the
Full steak
women
sandwich.
in the 2020s Money in the Bank. Nia Jax, Carmella, Shayna Baszler, Asuka, Lacey Evans, and Dana Brooke.
Okay. There's 3 women that I would have picked. And no, it wasn't that refrigerator door Nia Jax that I picked to win that fucking Money in the Bank. I tell you that right
No,
now.
they picked the true one, Oscar the winner.
Asuka, Baszler. And I'll give you Brooks on that one. Brooks has a better opportunity on that one than fucking 2019. I'll tell you that.
Because Lacey didn't see it happening. She
Lacey
just came up with
became a
opportunity.
sergeant. So
Carmella, she's already won it. Nia Jax didn't need it. She was injuring people
she
in
would
that
have
whole
ate
build
it.
up.
You know what I mean?
But
So
but as far as her career, Impact. Let me pull up the Impact roster while we're still at it.
I'm horrible, Horton. I'm horrible. I'm gonna get canceled for everything.
I'm gonna
I
talk to you
agree,
guys.
I agree with Leo. Dana Brooke, she's a good star.
Untapped potential.
No, I will say this. Dana
He could
Brooke
go to Impact and do some good things in Impact. Hell of a match with Mickey James. She can
I'm
run
gonna
around
go
there.
Before you go on your little rant, I already know you have your hat on, your glasses on. I know you're ready,
No,
locked and loaded.
go
But I'm gonna. These are the women in Impact right now that are signed. We have Alicia Edwards, Courtney Rush, Danny Luna, Diana Perrazzo, Giselle Shaw, Jennifer Chung, Jessica, Jody Threat, Jordan Grace, Kylan King, Killer Kelly, Masha Slamovich, Mickey James, Savannah Evans, Sue Young, Tasha Steeles, Taylor Wilde, Tracy Brooks, and Trendy.
Masha
Question, what
Slamovich.
happened in Impact?
Masha Slamovich is an Impact.
Oh,
What happened with
I thought you said
Velvet Sky?
Slamovich.
Who?
Velvet Sky?
I think she's in AEW, but I think she's part of the Ring of Honor brand.
She moved to Ring of Honor. I thought she was in Impact.
Velvet Sky, I don't think is part of that. Let me see.
I could have swore that she was still in Impact. She was up there with the beautiful people with what's her name?
She was in I think she's
Horton. A lot of women are
NWA.
beautiful in your eyes. You know what I mean?
I think she was in NWA.
No, she was in
she was in Impact, but then she went to NWA.
Really?
She's 42. She's not competing anymore.
She's 42.
She's 42.
Damn,
she's not competing.
Where the hell have I been?
So in a total of about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. A roster of 20 women in Impact, and all of them. And here's the thing, Dylan. Each one of those women get used weekly, frequently, every single week. Every single one of these women you turn on, you're going to see these women every week involved in storylines or being involved in other people's storylines. Either way, they're on TV every week. So, for someone like her,
I'll tell you this. This is what I have. Okay. I'm gonna try to make this rant really, really short because I don't want to go. I don't want to go like I did last night on the podcast. But look, Julia Hart has a match against Chris Statlander this weekend. TBS Championship. Lately, Julia Hart has been showing off her ability to actually hang with the big girls. No duh, she's going to lose on Sunday. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry if that broke everyone's heart, but guess what?
I'm with you.
It's going to happen. But here's what I think should happen to Julia Hart. And this also translates to Dana Brooke. Julia Hart's opportunities to get this TBS championship have been high and low. There have been matches that have been good, but there have been more matches that have been bad. And unfortunately, Dana Brooke has been in that same predicament. You can call it booking, you can call it management, you can call it wrestling ability, call it whatever you want. But there's been highs, there's been lows. Now she has this opportunity against the TBS champion. Unfortunately, it's not going to prevail. It is the opportunity to get back to that to get back to that title conversation is what matters. And that is the same thing I would say for Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke has the opportunity to get into the conversation as a top 10, top 5 women of wrestling that IPW will consider a highlight women's wrestler in the near future. It depends on where she goes. It depends on how she's booked. It is depending on how the story goes, and it depends on how she performs. Same with Julia Hart. If Julia Hart's comeback is she starts checking off the list of wrestlers that have brought Chris Statlander to the gold and have gotten Chris Statlander's way to try to retain the gold, to get back to the gold itself, she has an opportunity to really perform and bring that new generation of women into the forthcoming. And it's the same for Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke has the same opportunity right at her feet. It does depend on where she goes. Now, I would say AEW if they booked Julia Hart correctly. But the 50-50 chance of Julia Hart being booked the way Dylan wants him to be booked is slim to none. So I would say Impact would be the safest and best option for Dana Brooke. Besides the women being booked weekly, the story development alone will make Dana Brooke's name ring in the conversations to come on a week-in and week-out basis. Her opportunities to be in a pay-per-view and possibly main event in a title opportunity against someone like Athena or like the women's champion in Impact is more higher than going to AEW. Now, the biggest question to them is money and opportunities. The list that you gave us is very long. There is a lot of women there that are doing great. And is the money going to be the obstacle Impact has to overcome to get someone like Dana Brooke? Now, Impact could turn around and say, no, thank you. And it's because of the fact of how WWE has booked Dana Brooke, which isn't her fault to an extent.
Yeah.
But if they go over the hurdle and pay her the money, it is worth the outcome that could happen with Dana Brooke's career. So, in summary, Dana would be better suited in Impact currently because there's more opportunities for her to succeed in story alone and opportunities alone to get her name out there across the masses than in a place like AEW and or WWE.
Mm-hmm. And Mickey James, she's there, but she's going to be leaving very soon. She's going to be leaving soon, so somebody is going to have to fill that spot as far as like a veteran.
4 women ahead of Dana.
You got Trendy, you got Tasha Steelz, because the main people I watch when I watch Impact, right? The main people that are probably in like the bigger storylines is Giselle Shaw, Deonna Purrazzo, Tasha Steelz, Trinity. Those are the big 4 right there. Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly, they are the tag team champions in Impact.
Right.
They're the tag team champions.
And to be honest with you, there's 2 ways you could book Dana. You could bring her on, give her 4 months of a singles run. If the single run doesn't hit with the fans, put her in a tag team competition for the remaining parts of the year. Let her win gold. Let her be a champion. Let her and her partner, who also is getting their name out there,
like a
be
Mandy
able
Rose.
to have opportunities in pay-per-view matches to defend the title, in high-stakes qualifying matches, and see how it goes. If the fans love her in a tag team competition, great. Because after that, you can build the story of backstabbing and betrayal and letting Dana Brooke become a heel in Impact, going after the Impact Women's Champion, whoever that may be, and that time.
Yeah. And there's history between her and Trinity because the last time Dana and Trinity, at the time Naomi faced, was in 2020. They had a Money in the Bank qualifying match on SmackDown, and Dana Brooke won. So there is history if you want to bring in their history from WWE into the feud, which makes sense. And I feel like she would work okay with a lot of the women there,
She would
and
do
probably
fine. She would actually benefit a lot more from them than they would from her. And it's because of the fact that she wasn't given the opportunities to train and wrestle properly in WWE.
and here's the thing. Impact is more like the gateway to the forbidden door because a lot of these women work even on the indie scene. They still go to these indie shows like like a reality of wrestling, or making the different appearances like a one-time appearance on an AEW.
Who's just
They
coming to
still
Long
do that.
Island? October 13th.
Exactly. So even if she was signed to Impact, they will still they can give her an option. You could be signed to Impact, and if you want to work a few indie dates here and there, you have the option to do so.
Right.
That will help further her career and get her name out there even more because she's showing up on these different indie circuits,
Right.
these different indie shows.
Exactly.
You have anything you want to add, Horton?
Like I said, I just feel like I feel like Dana Brooke, should be good in the Impact. She, like I said, she's untapped potential. She has potential to do great things. She has a potential to go and make a name for herself. And I would like to see her fight against Mickie James. I could care less about Trinity, but that's just my opinion.
People aren't gonna, if people who come across it aren't gonna like that one, but okay.
Clip that out. Clip that out. Clip that out. Clip that out. Clip that out.
I'm gonna be clipping.
Yeah, this is hard. Horton says some wild shit.
I might have to clip a few things out, but I think that says about it for all these wrestlers. We do wish them luck in everything that they are doing in the future. We do hope that a lot of these people land on their feet and find success elsewhere, whether if it's in the wrestling business or even outside of the wrestling world. Like Dylan said, a lot of people are going to end up finding themselves on the receiving end of being at Walmart, but it's okay. They're still going to be getting some money, but it is what it is. But before we get out of here, I'm going to let these guys plug their channels and everything like that. So if you guys want to go follow these guys and what they're doing content-wise, you guys can be able to engage with them. So we're going to start with Dylan. You can share your socials and anything like that.
Listen, I am 100% the greatest, hardest working son of a bitch out here on the YouTube platform next to, of course, these two gentlemen right here besides me. I cannot say that I am the only one out here working as hard as they are because I'm trying to keep up with them with all the great content that Horton and Leo put out each and every week. But yes, I am who everybody says I am. I am the Macho Nacho himself. I am the guy that's dressed up as a Santa Claus drunk sailor with fucking Top Gun shades right now, saying majority of these releases belong at Walmart. Top dollar, hit me for it if you want to play with me. But I tell you now, gentlemen, this weekend is going to be amazing because, of course, on the Last Week in Wrestling podcast, we do watch-alongs for none other than AEW's Dynamite and Collision. We also do the pay-per-views that happen each and every month for AEW and, of course, WWE pay-per-view watch-alongs every time there is one. Of course, we have a podcast that's every Thursday that breaks down all the news, predictions, etc. And now we've expanded into gaming. Myself, Horton, Asa, we're going to be talking about Starfield this month coming up. Very excited for that. And a whole bunch of other great stuff. So definitely, for all of you guys that are new, that do not know who the hell I am, go ahead, go to Last Week in Wrestling Podcast. You're going to see my beautiful face over there. Make sure you hit that sub button. Make sure you turn on post notifications because tomorrow and Sunday's the craziest day, but tomorrow night is going to be Collision Watch Along on my channel. Leo will be there. Horton will be there. I got a whole bunch of cool people coming out and hanging out with us. But of course, this Sunday, AEW's Wrestle Dream is going to be a huge, huge watch along that we're all going to be a part of. We're all going to be dressed up in costumes. Yes, it is the first day of the spooky season, so you know what that means. It is time to dress up in costumes. I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to have these two great guys with me on there as well. So yes, definitely go check out the channel. It is definitely worth a lot of fun. And that's it. I mean, over there is also the link tree for the Instagram, the TikTok, the Twitch channel, the YouTube channel, the MySpace, the Facebook Marketplace. I'm everywhere. So check me out, man. It's definitely worth the subscription.
Yeah, Horton, go and plug your channel, Horton.
You probably heard this 1,000 times if you watch my videos. But hello, guys. My name is Horton, and I'm from The Horton Show. If you guys want to come over on TikTok and see me, Horton, on The Horton Show, then you can go and find you and enjoy yourselves. I make a bunch of videos of different stuff like WWE, Pokemon, might start doing some Yu-Gi-Oh, different stuff here or there, video games, I like to pop in from time to time on Last Week in Wrestling's podcast, stir some trouble up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just met Leo. Leo's a pretty chill guy. I might try to do more with him as well if you would like to. Just so I like to have fun, have fun, build myself up. So if you guys want to go on over to TikTok, find The Horton Show. I'll pop up. You can pop up. I'm gaining followers. I just hit 2,000 not too long ago. And I'm hoping to continue. Just share myself. Not in that way, but, share myself.
Yo, wait a second.
And, but come on over to The Horton Show and we'll have some fun.
Yeah, if you guys haven't checked out their channels, please go do so, because if you don't, you're gonna get chopped by Walter in your sleep, and trust me, you don't want that. You're gonna have your chest is gonna be looking like Kofi Kingston, and I'm pretty sure none of you can afford to go the rest of your life having a chest like that. Your girl won't be happy, and your family won't look at you the same. So go do that before you make a decision that you will regret. But with that being said, from Kicking It with Leo, Last Week in Wrestling Dylan, and The Horton Show, we appreciate everybody who came through here. We will see you guys in the next video / stream, because we're going to be doing some more streams in the future. If you guys want to see more streams with them, leave a like on this video. Let's leave a like on this video if you guys want to see more videos with us. And before we got to do it. Scissor me!
Scissor me, Daddy! That's what I'm talking about! There it is.
I appreciate y'all having coming out here, but we will see you guys very soon, and that is going to end the stream in 3, 2, 1.